On to you, Youmna, for the exclusive.
Thank you, Linda. This is the 4th season of the Inspirational Women series, and kicking off Inspirational Women 2015 is Maya Terro, a social and civil activist with a particular interest in corporate social responsibility, known as CSR, sustainability and development. Maya co-founded Foodblessed, a local hunger relief initiative that works with restaurants and businesses to use their surplus to deliver to those in need. Take a look.
If you have a roof over your head, a place to sleep, clothes on you, and food in your stomach, then you are richer than 75% of the rest of the world. On average, 12.7% of the people in the Arab region are hungry. In Lebanon, 2 out of 5 are living under poverty. Huge amounts of food are being thrown away after almost every event. What we do, we partner with restaurants and catering companies who can either provide us with their surplus food, monthly meal vouchers, a ready-to-eat meal, or contribute to our food fund. This fund can buy Moune items to prepare Moune packages.
For all our viewers here, we have to explain what Moune is. Welcome, Maya Terro. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Moune, just so people know, they're basically like food packages that you can use with surplus from different restaurants and businesses. What do you put in them usually?
So usually it's the basic necessities that every family or individual might use, like rice, wheat, burghul, milk powder, cheese, like dry cheese. So these kind of stuff. And we kind of learned from experience that a lot of people think that when they think of Moune, of cans, but from experience we now know that cans are not as effective. So you can eat a can of tuna, but it doesn't have this longer impact as a bag of rice.
Right.
So we kind of moved away from cans and now focus more on dry goods like rice and lentils and that kind of stuff.
And packed cheese and things of the sort.
Things that last.
We were talking a little bit before the interview, and you mentioned corporate social responsibility, CSR, a term that's still relatively unknown in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And you said Foodblessed started with this idea that you always felt like you needed to help out, and there was the CSR. So tell me a little bit about that link.
So Foodblessed was born out of a workshop by CSR Al-Ahli, and it was about what is corporate social responsibility. And at the end of it, we were divided into groups, and each group had to find a social project, like a social need or a social problem, and try to tackle it through the lens of CSR, or corporate social responsibility. And for those who don't know, CSR is like every corporation has a responsibility towards its community, including individuals and environment. So it's not like corporations should be just profit-driven. They also have a responsibility to give back to their communities where they operate. And one way of doing so is by working with other NGOs or creating their own projects. And we thought, why not use that to encourage them, especially companies that deal with food, to help those in need, especially to tackle food poverty, not just poverty.
Right, and you started it here. The NGO is entering its 3rd year now, and what I want to know is, so do you pick specific restaurants, and how do you strike a business deal with them? What do you say?
So initially we were focusing on just dealing with companies that deal with food, so specifically restaurants. And we found that a lot of them were hesitant or weren't as encouraged because a lot of them thought of, what if someone gets poisoned? No, we don't want to get into that. And in Lebanon, like, reputation is very important. So a lot of restaurants didn't like to be part of it. So we said, all right, don't donate yourself, but why not cook for those people? So a lot of them were more encouraged to do that.
Did a lot of them get on board? Were a lot of people?
Yeah,
do you want to name a few? Do you want to drop names?
Definitely. Our first and most important sponsor is Zaatar and Zayt.
Yeah.
We've been working with them ever since we started off. And then now we have Tamar Bouta and Al Diwan and Brochetta, and they cook for our soup kitchens, and a lot of volunteers also cook. And now we focus more, since Foodblessed, to define it, is a volunteer-driven, community-based, nonprofit organization. So we operate through the community, for the community. So, and everyone is a volunteer, including myself. So this is the very special, unique thing about foodblessed.
They were zooming in on your HH. She's a superwoman in a lot of ways, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But HH stands for Hunger Hero. You want to tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, so we thought that like in our culture, or how the media portrays superheroes, it's usually someone who got this special power from eating something or getting a spider bite or whatever. But in foodblessed, we believe that ordinary people are heroes in disguise. And when you're working with foodblessed or helping people in need by tackling food poverty or hunger, you're fighting hunger. So you're a hunger hero in disguise. So I have the cool t-shirt, which is cool, but a lot of people tackle hunger every day, but they don't know that they're doing a huge thing. And for example, I would see them as heroes, although they wouldn't know it.
The most important thing you told me, the thing that stayed with me, is you said that you always felt like your life had meaning in order to serve other people. And I know a lot of people say that and it's cliche, but in your case, it is actually true. I sense you have the sense of fearlessness, courage to always walk the walk, walk the
lead
talk.
by example, definitely.
You know, but what inspired you? Who inspired you growing up?
Well, at first I used to say like Martin Luther King, Gandhi, but then when I really thought about the people who inspired me
from your circle,
it would be definitely someone from your circle, or sometimes someone who you wouldn't even know.
Who inspired you?
So I couldn't say one person inspired me or there was a point in my life. I say every day is a day of inspiration, and now I'm lucky enough that I inspire others, and such is life. It's a circle. So one day you're inspired, the other day you're someone's inspiration. And I always say that for me, my life was always driven by, like, I always felt that I needed to fill a specific need. And when I do that, sometimes I have to do it because I love doing it. And you have to compromise and sacrifice, but in that doing, you inspire others, and that is the most fulfilling feeling in the world. So a lot of people, I'm a full-time volunteer, and some people don't understand, how can you survive if you don't get money for what you do? And I always tell them that there's two types of richness. There's inner and outer. And I'm like a millionaire when it comes to inner richness.
Because you get to do what you love to do.
Definitely, and a lot of people will not understand that unless they volunteer and feel it for themselves, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, now I know why you're like so, why you think what you do.
You're fulfilled is what you're saying.
And
the world's a big place. Lebanon is just a little dot on a big world, and people here tend to maybe sometimes forget that it is important.
And we define success by a bigger car, a better house, but I always say success is doing what you love, with what you have, where you are, and in that doing, trying to inspire others to do the same. This is success to me, and I've been living it, and like when I say I lead by example, I specifically literally do it like by applying it to myself.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having
one step at a time. That was Maya Terro, the activist and the co-founder of foodblessed. Back to you, Linda.